This video covers everything we did in class today on Monday, December 13th in 7th grade math. The first thing you need to do is open up Classkick so that you can follow along. So go ahead and pause this video, open up Classkick, and complete your Do Now. When you're finished looking at the Do Now independently, press play on this video. At this point, you should have taken a look at the Do Now independently. Let's talk through the first three problems. In question 1, we see that we have 5x's and 7x's. And that simply means that we have 13 x's in total. 5x plus 7x is equal to 13, but not just 13, 13 x's, because we have 5x's and 7x's. One way to think about this problem that we talked about in class is that this group, 5x, is represented literally by 5x's, and that the second group, 7x, is represented by 7x's. And so when we put all those x's together, we don't simply have the number 13, we have 7 x's, and altogether that's equal to 13x. In question 2, we see that we have a 6x and a 3x that we can combine to get 9x. But that 8 needs to be left alone. It looks like this, 9x plus 8. The reason that the 8 needs to be left alone is because the 8 isn't a number of x's. It's simply an 8 all on its own. 9x plus 8 is your final answer because you can only combine the terms that are alike. Similarly, in question 3, if I take away 1x from 4x, I end up with 3x. But I can't do anything to those 3 y's, because if I have 3 x's and 3 y's, those are 2 separate variables. It's like saying I have 3 apples and 3 oranges. Even though I could say I have 6 pieces of fruit, I would never say that I had 6 apples or 6 oranges, because I have 3 apples and 3 oranges. It's the same with x's and y's. This week's foundational learning target is I can simplify an expression by combining like terms. Combining like terms is what we just did. Terms like x and y would be like terms. For example, in this challenge question where you have 2y and 3y, and then you have the 5x and the 12x, you'll be able to combine the x's and the y's. This is something we'll practice for the rest of the week and then take our Foundations Quiz Friday. Today's grade level learning target is I can calculate a given sales tax or tip. Since we had a 45-minute class today, we focused in on 2 activities that I'll walk you through here. The first thing that you need to do is head to slide 3 and complete the notice and wonder. I want you to go ahead and write a full sentence. The page says, you're on vacation and want to buy a pair of sunglasses for $10 or less. You find a pair with a price tag of $10. The cashier says the total cost will be $10.45. What do you notice? What do you wonder? Pause this video, complete slide 3, and come back when you're finished. The important thing to notice on slide 3 is that the total cost is less than the listed cost, which was $10. You might have noticed this happening in real life. When you go to a store and you see the list price of something, that's often not what the item actually costs when you ring up at the cashier. That's because there's something called sales tax that gets added to the cost of items. This is a fee that the government charges to collect funds, and it's consistent across items. We're going to talk about how it's measured on slide 4. Slide 4 says some cities have different sales tax rates. Here are the sales tax charges on the same item in 2 different cities. Complete the table. So, in order to complete these tables, we need to determine what sales tax is being charged. I'm going to show you how to complete table 1, and then I'll give you an opportunity to complete table 2. I can see that in table 1, an $8 roll of paper towels is being charged a sales tax of $0.48. That means that I can find the percentage sales tax by calculating part 0.48 divided by whole. Remember, I always need to multiply my percents times 100. But what this will tell me is what percentage sales tax is being charged. Now, if I divide 0.48 divided by 8, I get 0.06, and I can multiply that times 100 for a 6% sales tax. That means that to get the sales tax in dollars, I am multiplying the original cost times 0.06. I'm going to do the same thing for the lamp. And we can double check our work to make sure that this is actually the sales tax rate. If this is the true sales tax rate, then 25 times 0.06 should give us a sales tax of 1.5. This is definitely the kind of problem where you can use a calculator to check your work. 25 times 0.06 does equal 1.5. So I know that I have a sales tax of $1.50. Now, if my original price was 25 and my sales tax was 150, that means my new total cost is $26.50 because I have to pay for the tax and I have to pay for the original price of the item. If I buy a pack of gum, my sales tax is going to stay the same. I multiply by 0.06. That's going to be only 6 cents in sales tax, so 0.06 for a total cost of $1.06. Finally, in the last row, if my sales tax is once again 0.06, that means that I'm paying a sales tax in dollars of 72 cents. Then I'll add that 72 cents, which is my sales tax in dollars, to the total price, which gives me $12.72. Now, where it says X, we have a variable to represent any number or any price in dollars. We know that no matter what the price is in dollars, we are finding the sales tax in the same way. We're multiplying by 0.06. So I know that the sales tax in dollars will always be 0.06x. And the total cost in dollars is always X, the original cost, plus 0.06, which is the sales tax. And I said 0.06 alone, but it is 0.06x. Because think about it. All of these numbers in the sales tax column that we added to the original price in order to get the total cost, we simply found by multiplying times 0.06. Your next step is to pause this video and do the exact same thing in this table. Remember that our first step was to find the sales tax, which we did by dividing part over whole. You can multiply times 100 to convert it into a percent, or just leave it as a decimal, since that's what we have to multiply by anyway. In this table, we have a part and we have a whole, and that will allow you to calculate the sales tax in dollars. Then, you use the sales tax in dollars as a constant of proportionality to multiply across the table. Pause this video to complete the table for City 2. In City 2, you should have calculated a sales tax by dividing the sales tax by the price in dollars. And you could have done it with either row of the table that was given to you. Regardless of which two numbers you used, your sales tax was 0.085. And what that means is for any cost X, you were multiplying 0.085 times X to get the sales tax. And that means that your final equation was X plus 0.085X. You're always adding the original price plus the sales tax, which is just the sales tax times the original price. On slide 5, you'll see more practice in 10.3 that you can complete to help you get some more repetitions on this topic. The key takeaway is that everywhere you shop, well, most places, have a sales tax. And a sales tax is just the amount of money that a government agency collects on the sale of certain items. For example, a state might charge a tax on all cars purchased in the state. And usually the tax rate is given as a percentage of the cost. For example, a state's tax rate on car sales might be 2%, which means that for every car sold, the buyer has to pay a tax that's 2% of the sales price of the car. There's some more examples listed in the lesson summary, such as a sales price of 7.5%. On slide 7, you have today's exit ticket, which is mandatory. Make sure you check out the exit ticket and give it a try. When you're finished, you do have homework tonight. It's posted in today's folder in Schoology.